Hi, my name is Amy Burton, and I'm with Amy Burton Counseling. I'm a therapist in Overland Park, Kansas, but I'm also a mom of 6 children, ranging in age from 16 down to 7. Did you know that over half of teens surveyed stated they watch pornography to learn about sex and to fill in the gaps in their sexual education? Well, today we're going to tackle why it's important to talk to your kids about pornography, and I'm going to give you some tips on what to include in your conversation. Now, the average age of first exposure to pornography in the United States is 11 years old. A study conducted in 2008 found that 93% of boys and 62% of girls were exposed to pornography in their early adolescent years. Now, adolescents who use internet pornography have correlations with things such as increased social isolation, decreased emotional bonding with their parents, greater instances of conduct problems, increased delinquent behaviors, and increased incidences of depressive symptoms. Now, pornography affects teens in two different ways. It affects how they view themselves, and it affects how they view relationships. So, if you're fairly certain that your teen has viewed pornography, or if you want to start a conversation about pornography, here are a few things that you might want to include. So, number one, it's important that teenagers know that porn actors and actresses' bodies are not normal. The actresses use a lot of waxing, bleaching, makeup, and even surgery on their bodies. Porn actors use sexual performance enhancing drugs to increase their genital size, to maintain erections, and to delay ejaculation. Due to a lack of sexual experience, many adolescents won't realize the unrealistic nature of the bodies that they see in pornography and instead might assume that their own bodies are unattractive. Now, secondly, it's so important that our teens know that safe sex is imperative. In contemporary pornography, only 10% of scenes show a man using a condom. Now, we live in a country where 20% of people aged 14 to 49 have genital herpes, and 79 million Americans have HPV. Your teen needs to know that porn actors and actresses actually have 1 to 2 sexual infections monthly. Safe sex is imperative. Thirdly, it's so important that our teens know that women's bodies should be respected. Contemporary pornography is defined by themes of male dominance, in which a male uses a female as a sole means of his own sexual satisfaction without any regard for her own desires. Now, although pornography from the 1970s or 80s may have shown consensual sexual experience between partners, contemporary pornography just does not. From 1986 to 1998, male dominance in pornography has increased in frequency from 54% up to 94%, and 98% of sexual scenes conclude with a man satisfying himself onto the woman's body. Now, younger and younger girls are being pressured into sex acts, believing that sex equals fear, violence, and domination, instead of believing that sex is meant for a committed couple to express love, intimacy, and connection. Fourthly, sexual violence and humiliation is wrong, and it's so important that all of our teens know it. 88% of contemporary pornography shows physical aggression toward women in the form of slapping, choking, hair pulling, and bondage. 95% of that aggression is seen as pleasurable by the woman. 41% of scenes show a man forcing a woman to perform oral sex directly after sodomizing her. There's growing popularity to videos which depict males forcing women to perform oral sex to the point of gagging and vomiting. Now, I know this may sound extreme to you, but research has shown that people who consistently consume pornography typically pursue content which is increasingly extreme and deviant. Therefore, producers of pornography must film scenes which are disturbingly rough, unrealistic, and degrading in order to make more money. Now, regardless of how embarrassing this conversation might be, there are a couple of suggestions. Here are a couple of suggestions on how you can approach it. First, take a no shame, no blame attitude right from the start so that it feels like a two-way conversation instead of feeling like a lecture. Second, as a way of dispelling some of the discomfort, just acknowledge that this topic is difficult to discuss for both of you. And third, just let them know that the space you are occupying is a no judgment zone. I beg of you, regardless of your minor child's age, please put parental controls on their phones and on their devices. It could prevent or at least delay your child from viewing pornography. Now, I know this is an extremely uncomfortable subject, but as parents to teens in this day and age, we must educate them about pornography because the way they view themselves and the way they view relationships is so important. Please do not remain silent about this topic. Our teens are going to be educated one way or the other, and they deserve to know the truth about pornography and the lies that pornography try to tell us all. Now, if you found this video helpful, I hope you'll share it. And if you or someone you know needs counseling, look me up. I'm at amyburtoncounseling.com. Thank you.